Hello my lovelies, and welcome to the NPC Reviews. You caught me reminiscing about some of the earlier levels, I mean adventures, of the heroic folks that my dad has helped and hindered over the years. I wasn't going to use such strong language, but yes, and it got me thinking of their early exploits. You know, you're trying to figure things out, and it seems like the whole world is trying to stop you while bad or weird things keep happening, and that is exactly what Parn and Palls go through in The Record of Lodoss War, Episode 4, The Grey Witch. As but a lowly NPCs, I do not operate on such rules, and as such have no early adventures to reflect upon. Shh, don't out me like that. Our story continues with a bright, sunshiny day, but they are barred from entry to the group's confusion.
The capital is closed.
Now what is this all about?
All that I am allowed to tell you is that Alania will not resist Marmo, but we will not become their slaves either.
Don't you know that the Marmo forces just destroyed the fortress mice?
An acceptable loss.
Parn doesn't take this well.
Are you telling me that King Cadmos VII won't stand up to the Marmo forces?
That is what he just said, yes. And the guard gives him the cold shoulder. Your plot hook is in another castle. Word of the Marmo invasion and the fall of Canaan spreads, so King Fawn dispatches his daughter, Princess Fianna, to Alania to try and secure an alliance.
See my daughter? No. The princess safely through.
Yes, your majesty. By the honor of the knights, I swear it.
Oh, 3-1, this doesn't end well for them. Meanwhile, in a less sunshiny place, the king of Canaan is brought before Beld and told to surrender to end the bloodshed. But the king doesn't believe him and won't deal with devils, and that the royalty may fall, but the people will fight on. So Beld stains the carpet and has the king dragged off to be executed. Diplomacy at its finest. At this point, Carla shows up, complimenting Beld's swift actions and affirming his conquest of eastern Lodoss. She also reports that the conquering on Ashram's end is ongoing, but he's doing well. She also tells of Princess Fianna's mission to Alania.
A messenger has been sent from Valis to Alania.
Fawn. He's making his move.
I shall attend to this.
Meanwhile, Parn, still feeling the loss of Chebra, is anger walking when Deela tries to get him to calm down. It turns out he's heading towards the Forest of No Return, and he's cool with that. The rest of the group just kind of cringing a bit. He'll go and fight Mormo with Valis declaring,
"But I'm gonna be the first one to make it out!"
Deela seems to be charmed by all this, but Woodchuck, kind of the sensible one here, tries to convince Parn that they should go around the forest that no one has ever come back from. Doesn't work though, as Parn says they don't have the time, but Woodchuck can do what he wants. Ooh, the guilt. All of this is ended when Deela chimes in.
Let's go right now, to the Forest of No Return.
And we're also reminded of Gim's quest.
Gim, and what about you? Isn't there something else you need to do?
Never mind about that right now.
He's got good priorities, but you do feel for the fellow. They arrive in the woods and Deela gives them instruction.
Surprise, terror, anger, anguish. You must leave these strong emotions behind, or else the trees around us will react in an evil way.
I can't believe that an elf is giving me orders.
Well, I don't have to worry about dwarves like you, Gim. You couldn't feel that much if you tried.
And so she opens the portal. This reminds me of something.
What's in there? Only what you take with you.
Woodchuck tries to play off following, but in the end, they all enter the portal. The realm is strange and turns out to be the realm of the fairies, Deedlet's homeland, long thought lost. Turns out they just don't like the neighbors. They quickly begin their trek to avoid the dangerous time discontinuity between realms. Unfortunately, Parn brought his daddy issues and almost gets caught. Luckily, Gim holds him back. With prompting from Deedlet, they continue on their way, but Woodchuck starts to lag behind and gets caught in his own vision.
Gold dust!
Which leads to him getting caught by the trees. And this is why...
And you never let that damn thief out of sight.
Still, they manage to save him, but not before Gim's anger at Woodchuck causes him to get caught, and he sees a vision of the young woman he's searching for. An interesting headpiece there. Luckily, Parn the Brave manages to save the old dwarf, and they fall out of the forest with only a few d6 of falling damage, quickly followed by the rest of the party. While this is going on, Ashram has been busy and is now checking on the results of his labors, only to be interrupted by Carla's corpsey puppet play.
Mind your own matters, Carla. And what have you discovered about Valis's maneuvers?
Very good. You learned that much faster than I expected.
The smallest pebble that might impede Emperor Beld's advance. Isn't that what you said?
You have nothing to fear. I came only to hear you utter those exact words to me.
I think I prefer my version. Are you doing that thing I want you to do? Yes. Good boy, just what I wanted to hear. And Ashram isn't keen on this. Gim finally awakens and after some gentle encouragement and sharp commentary, reveals his quest to the group.
My quest is to find Lelia, the long-lost daughter of Nis, the High Priestess of Marfa.
Nis was tending to Gim after a mining accident, because of course it was a mining accident, when Lelia was taken and he blames himself. Sad grandpa. And Gim doesn't know where she is. While they're trying to console sad grandpa, the princess plot presents itself as she is under attack. Then we get this.
Fear not! The Knights of Valis will defend you with our lives!
3, 2, 1... No, this was his last quest before moving to the Goodnight retirement home. That's when Carla appears. Fiona is naturally concerned, but Carla has other plans. This is when Parn and party arrive, wondering what's going on.
Look out! That's a fire spell!
Anyway, they're told by a dying knight to save the princess. Parn, taking up the charge, rushes off to save her, much to the concern of his party members. But it's dangerous to go alone, so he arms himself with Slain, who proves to be useful. They arrive at the most appropriately spooky meeting place, Princess on Display, and Carla starts flexing her magical might at them, eventually pinning them down and admonishes Parn.
Only a fool attacks without first knowing who his enemy really is.
Still, he declares that he won't be beaten and pushes forward. The others arrive and try to stop her, to no avail, when Gim recognizes her.
Why? It can't be! It's Lelia!
Carla seems to respect Parn's foolishness, I mean bravery, and rewards them with the princess, and with one last flex, zaps herself out of there, leaving Gim shaken. Meanwhile, Beld broods over his victories, saying that he hasn't forgotten King Fawn these last 30 years, and declares that Valis is next. At that time, his wizard ponders and connects to the dragon from the last episode, and has a religious experience.
What is this force that calls out to me? Cardis! The dark goddess in the earth! Can it be Cardis?
And that's the session. Episode. More mysteries abound. There's a lot of character and plot stuff happening here. Parn is still reeling from the loss of Chebra and Mice, causing him to make rash decisions, or rather, inflaming his tendency to rush into things, but it's part of his arc. Woodchuck gets a decent amount here. Is he cowardly or cautious? And he serves an important function. Every party needs a naysayer who will point out how dangerous something is. As long as they don't get annoying about it, they're a valuable member of a team. With Woodchuck, it adds an everyman quality to his character, and whether out of guilt or the power of friendship, or both, he follows along. As for Gim, he learns that he needs to share information, especially if you're in a magical forest that draws out your fears and regrets. Could have saved the party time and danger, but guilt is a powerful inhibitor. The fact that he didn't even tell Slain, his old friend, shows how guilty he feels. Some good character conflict, and from our perspective, a good job on the original DM's part weaving Gim's personal quest into the main plot. We learn the most about Carla. While we know what her end goal is, balance the scales of history, we don't know what her plan is. She seems to be playing her own game though, as she seems to be supporting Beld, but also gives the heroes a break with the princess. Also, if she hadn't insisted on attacking Mice, the party wouldn't be on their current path. Then there's her whole thing with Ashram. Is she trying to control him, or is it some UST? Don't know, but there's plans within plans, as she plays three-dimensional chess. And hey, we learned how she sustains herself. She made mention of discarding bodies with the passage of time. L'Oreal Dark, because I'm worth it. She seems to be a body jumper. As much as we learn, there's still more mystery. Nicely done. The character quests in the main plot seem to be moving apace while also moving towards a merging point. Also, with the princess saved, Parn and friends should have their in into Valis, and hopefully will be able to help more against Beld and his imperial and seemingly vengeful ambitions. As for the wizard and the dragon, we'll just have to see.
You're a fool! You're falling for something so obvious!
Episode 4 of The Record of Lodoss War seems to be the last push before the story really starts running. We'll have to see. Still, the character interactions are fun, and Carla is partially revealed while still remaining mysterious. As for the weird stuff, it happens at lower levels, and it happens at higher levels, but at that point you're just used to it. Whether you're watching along with me or watching on your own, I'd say keep going. If not for me, do it for Sad Grandpa. Still, that's it for now, my lovelies, and until next time, fare thee well.